Okay, so we'll discuss thyroid. Okay, so now what is thyroid is an endocrinal gland, and you can see the normal thyroid where it is located, and you have this seen that is anatomy and physiology, and this is normal size of the gland. So now what is goiter? Goiter is enlarged thyroid gland. Okay, so either there will be diffuse enlargement, that is whole of the thyroid gland is enlarged, or there is nodular enlargement, that is there is one nodule, that is solitary nodular enlargement, or multinodular. There will be multiple nodules which are separated from each other by the fibrous septum. Okay, so either it is diffuse, solitary, or multinodular. There are three types of goiter. What is goiter? That is enlargement of thyroid gland. Okay, why there is enlargement? Because there is less of TSH. So that is why to maintain the production of the hormone, thyroid gland is enlarged. How it is enlarged? So now we will see the normal histology. Okay, so normal histology, what is we can see? There are follicles. Okay, follicles are filled with colloid. So these are round are follicles, and the light pink color material, it is colloid, and follicles are lined by follicular epithelium. And which type of epithelium it is there? It is cuboidal epithelium. Okay, so this is a normal thyroid histopathology. And what are parafollicle cells are present in the stroma. Okay, so when there is enlargement of the thyroid in the goiter or in the solitary goiter or multinodular goiter, the follicles are enlarged in size. Okay, and there are increase in number. So if there is an enlargement, it is called as hypertrophy. Increased number, hyperplasia. Okay, so there will be hypertrophy and hyperplasia of the follicular glands. Okay, so now we will see the diseases. Okay, diseases of the thyroid. So goiter, that is first foremost very simple to understand, and it is there. The slide will be there for your practical. So you should able to identify thyroid. Okay, so if you see this type of structure, you could at least make out it is a thyroid. Okay, and if there is a thyroid, then you should think of goiter. If there is a only glands are increased, glands are increased in size, and you can see the follicles, increase number of follicles, increase size of the follicles. Okay, so this is thyroid. No other organ look like this. Okay, sometimes you will feel kidney tubules will look similar, but this is not. Okay, thyroid is very easy to identify. Okay, so there is one slide of thyroid, that is goiter. So what is goiter? It is a benign. Now you should know, I have taken exam, I have seen your theory paper. Theory paper are all have written the same answers, but practical I have seen basic basic concept should be clear. Okay, so what is benign? Benign is there is no malignancy, there is no nothing atypia is present. Okay, the gland is just increase in size, and the follicles are increase in size and number, but there is no malignancy. Okay, so it is a benign enlargement of thyroid gland caused by compensatory hyperplasia and hypertrophy of the follicular epithelium in response to thyroid hormone deficiency. Okay, TSH is low, that is why to compensate that the thyroid is enlarged, that is called as goiter. So there are two morphological forms, simple or diffuse and multinodular. Diffuse non-toxic goiter is enlargement of the entire gland, okay, without producing any nodularity. So this is diffuse, okay, that is clear. Now we will see multinodular goiter. Okay, so now you can make out the thyroid gland is enlarged. You must remember how small is the thyroid gland, and now you can see both the lobes are enlarged, but there is nodularity. Okay, you can see the nodules on the surface also, and on the cut section also you can see multiple nodules are present. Okay, so this is a specimen of multinodular goiter. Grossly, what you will say? Asymmetric, extreme enlargement. There is a nodularity with poor encapsulation. Okay, on the lobes you can see the capsule is not clearly visible, but it is there. Okay, capsule will be there in benign condition. So it is nodularity with poor encapsulation, fibrous scarring. You can see in between on the cut section, you can see white scars, fibrous septae are present, which are separating the nodules. Hemorrhage, sometimes there will be hemorrhage. What is hemorrhage? Collection of blood. So the area will be reddish when we cut open. Okay, foci of calcification. Okay, calcification, how it will look? It will look like a hard gritty to cut and it will look white in color. Okay, so that is calcification. And sometimes there is cystic degeneration. Okay, after long time, the goiter has some degenerative changes. What are the degenerative changes will be there? There is cystic degeneration. So sometimes you will see cyst. Okay, fluid filled cavity will be there. That is cyst will be present in the thyroid. Now in cut section, irregular nodule separated by fibrous septae containing variable amount of brown gelatinous colloid. Okay, when we cut open, the colloid will be gelatinous. Okay, so that is specific. You should know about. And if it is cystic, that will be fluid. Fluid will be there. So this is a cut section and gross of the multinodular goiter. Okay, now the next slide, what is microscopy? So now what you can see, all the follicles are increased in size and number. Okay, they're compactly packed. So there is variable in size and shape of the follicles and the follicles are distended with the colloid. So on histopathology, you will see that colloid is light pink in color. Okay, on cut section, it will be brown gelatinous. Okay, so what is a microscopy? Partial or incomplete encapsulation of the nodule, follicles lined by flat cuboidal epithelium or sometimes columnar epithelium containing abundant of colloid in the lumen. Then nodules are separated by fibrous septae. Sometimes there will be areas of hemorrhage, cholesterol crystals. Okay, I will show the next diagram. There I will show you the cholesterol crystals and collection of hemosiderophages. Why there will be hemosiderophages? Because the hemorrhage will be there. So after some time, there will be macrophages will be present with hemosiderin in it. Okay, so this is colloid hemosiderophages and fibrous scarring with foci of calcification and cyst degeneration. Okay, cyst degeneration is what? You will see a large cyst and it is fluid filled. Okay, so that is cyst generation. So what are the things you should know on microscopy? There is a slide for your exam on goiter, multinodular goiter, or say goiter. At least you should able to identify. So now you can see follicles are increased in size and number, lined by cuboidal epithelium. Follicles are filled with the colloid, and sometimes you will see fibrous septae, hemorrhage, cholesterol crystals, and cystic degenerations. So these are the five, six things you should know. Okay, so this is a multinodular goiter or simple goiter. What is that? Increase in size and number of follicles. Okay, this is very clear. Now this is the diagram. You can see both the end follicles are there. They are not in same size or shape. They are variable in size and shape. And in between, you can see the fibrous band. Okay, and in that fibrous band, I have written CC, that is cholesterol crystals. What are cholesterol crystals? These are the empty spaces. You see, there is a no stain in between. They are rod shape. These are the cholesterol crystals. Okay, so that is a degenerative change. That is what is degenerative change? After long time, the multinodular goiter or any goiter will show degenerative changes. What are they? Sometimes hemosiderophages, cholesterol crystals, cystic degeneration. Okay, so this is cholesterol crystals. Now we will see fibrosis. You can see there is a fibrosis in between, and both the side there are follicles. Follicles are distended and lined by cuboidal epithelium. So this is a histology, at least you should able to write. Distended, irregular follicles, increase in size and number, filled with the colloid, lined by cuboidal epithelium, in between fibrous septae. Now we have done with multinodular goiter. That slide is there for your exam. We don't have the specimen for your exam. Now we will discuss Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Okay, so this is very peculiar to identify, very easy to identify if you know the thyroid histology. Okay, so what is thyroid histology? You should know follicles and colloid. Okay, so what is Hashimoto's thyroiditis? Why it is given Hashimoto's name? Because the Japanese scientist discovered thyroiditis. That is what is called as Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And what is thyroiditis? If it is itis, that is inflammation. Okay, inflammation of thyroid gland. Prior we have discussed goiter. That was there was no inflammation. Okay, only enlargement. Now in thyroiditis there is inflammation of the thyroid gland. That is why it is called as thyroiditis, and it is also called as Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So what will be there? There will be diffuse enlargement. Okay, there will be no nodularity or multinode. There will be diffuse enlargement, and it is an autoimmune disease. Okay, what is autoimmune disease? Antibodies are produced against its own antibody antigens present in the body. So this is a autoimmune disease. So what you will see? Lymphocytes. Okay, so there will be lymphocytes in the thyroid. Lymphocyte infiltration, occurrence of thyroid autoantibodies because it is an autoimmune disease, more common in females. Autoimmune diseases are more common in females and age as 45 to 65. Okay, this is general about Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So what you will see on cut surface, clinical features, what you will see, presence of painless. Okay, it is autoimmune disease, so there is no pain, painless form, and moderate goitrous enlargement. It will not be like an enlargement of the goiter. It not will not enlargement will not be more, but it will be diffuse. Okay, so there will be enlargement of the thyroid gland associated with hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism, there will be TSH low. Okay, now we will see microscopy. So now you can see the thyroid follicles are not visible. Okay, only at the left side upper pole you can see few thyroid follicles and at the lower pole. Okay, and the gland is replaced by lymphoid follicles. Okay, what are lymphoid follicles? Which we have seen in lymph nodes. Okay, so there is germinal center, lymphocytes are around. So you can see there are lymphoid follicles. If in the thyroid you see lymphoid follicles, you should suspect Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Okay, so there is Graves' disease also, but mostly it is Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So what is there? Lymphoid follicles having germinal centers, and the glands will be atrophied. What is atrophy? You should know what is hypertrophy, atrophy. So there is reduce in the size of the follicles, atrophic thyroid follicles, and are often devoid of colloid. So colloid will be less. What is more? H for Hashimoto's, and there will cell will be Hurdle cells, H. So you should remember that way, H and H. Hashimoto's thyroiditis, Hurdle cells. Hurdle cells are also called as oncocytes or oxalic cells. Okay, there are other names. So what are the Hurdle cells? You can see there are follicles are lined by cells which are eosinophilic. That is more of reddish color will be present. Okay, in the cells. These are called as Hurdle cells. So these are these are cells metaplastic response to the normal low columnar, that is a normal columnar cuboidal epithelium that will show Hurdle cells. Okay, so there will be eosinophilic granular cytoplasm. Okay, and more amount of mitochondria will be present in that. That is why the Hurdle cells will be present. Okay, and there will be thickening of the septae. Okay, so you can see the septae. The septae are not visible in this diagram, but sometimes you can see septae. So this is Hashimoto's thyroiditis. What you will see, lymphoid follicles and Hurdle cells. Okay, so this slide for Hashimoto's thyroiditis. There is one more diagram. You can see the normal gland, and on the right side you can see the Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Follicles are replaced by the lymphoid follicles. Okay, and germinal centers is there, and Hurdle cells are not visible. For that you have to under 40x you should see the Hurdle cells. Hurdle cells are normal cuboidal epithelium, but it will have more eosinophilic cytoplasm because of the granularity. So now two things we have discussed. Now we will discuss about the tumors of the thyroid. So first is benign. What are the we will discuss, and then malignant. Okay, so which is the benign tumor of the thyroid? That is follicular adenoma. If it is adenoma, it is benign. Okay, and if it is malignancy, it is called as follicular carcinoma. Okay, so you should know what is benign. Name should be follicular adenoma. Malignant, there are four: papillary carcinoma, follicular carcinoma, medullary carcinoma, and anaplastic carcinoma. Okay, so there are four malignancies of the thyroid. So papillary, more than 85% of the cases will have papillary carcinoma. Follicular is 5 to 15%, medullary is less common, and anaplastic is less than 5%. This is general thyroid. What are the thyroid cancers which are present? Okay, so follicular adenoma and carcinoma are very similar. They will have more number of follicles, but only thing that differentiate them is in the follicular carcinoma, the glands will be enlarged and they will be invading the capsule. Okay, so that is going beyond the capsule. So that is follicular carcinoma. So follicular carcinoma and adenoma is very difficult to differentiate. Papillary carcinoma very easy to identify, and the slide is there for your exam. Okay, medullary and anaplastics are not there for your exam. Okay, so we will discuss first is follicular adenoma. Adenoma, it is benign. Okay, so how gross will be? Solitary nodule. Okay, one single nodule you can visible that you can see, and the capsule is well demarcated. You can see the capsule around. Okay, so it is adenoma. Very important to diagnose follicular carcinoma. If there is capsular invasion, then there is follicular carcinoma. Okay, so solitary nodule, a complete encapsulation, clearly distinct architecture inside and outside the capsule, compression of the thyroid parenchyma outside the capsule. Okay, so there will be compression of the normal thyroid follicles. What is cut section? Adenoma is gray-white in color, less colloidal than the surrounding thyroid parenchyma. Degenerative changes such as, what are the degenerative changes? Fibrous scarring, focal calcification, hemorrhage, and cyst formation. These are the common degenerative changes you can see everywhere. So same degenerative changes, that is fibrous scarring, focal calcification, hemorrhage, and cyst formation. Okay, so they are degenerative changes. Now we will discuss papillary carcinoma. Okay, so that is grossly, it will be like gray white area in the thyroid. Okay, follicular carcinoma, you have to see the capsule, but in papillary carcinoma, you have to see the slide, histology slide to differentiate. Now you must be aware what is papillae. Okay, papillae are projections. Okay, so follicles will be like in a projection pattern. There won't be like a round follicles. There will be papillae. Okay, so most common thyroid cancer is papillary carcinoma, common between 25 to 50 years of age, and it present commonly in the females. What is a microscopy? Okay, so papillae pattern with a fibrovascular core. What is fibrovascular core? Inside that papillae, you should able to see collagen fibers and vessels. Okay, with a fibrovascular core. Tumor cells. Now papillae are lined by that. These are all tumor cells. Okay, so how are the tumor cells? Tumor cells will be optically clear nuclei, okay, or empty appearance. So you can see only margin is visible of the nucleus. Inside that there is nothing. That is called as empty looking nucleus or ground glass appearance or orphan Annie eye nuclei. Okay, so what is orphan Annie? There was a comic character you can see above. The eyes are clear, okay, only the margin is visible. So papillary carcinoma, you should write orphan Annie eye nuclei. Okay, so that is very important. Papillary projections lined by tumor cells, which are clear in empty looking cells or clear nuclei, and there will be inclusions, okay, intranuclear inclusions. So there will be something purple dots will be present in the nucleus, that is called as inclusion. Intranuclear inclusion and intranuclear grooves will be present in the tumor cells. Tumor cells, where are they? They are the lining of the papillary fronts. Okay, invasion of the capsule and intrathyroid lymphatics. So mainly papillary carcinoma spread through lymphatics. And one more thing, papillae, P for papillary carcinoma, Samoma bodies. You have seen Samoma bodies at different systems, but on papillary carcinoma, you will also see the Samoma bodies. What are the Samoma bodies? This is calcified areas. Concentrically calcified structures are often present, usually within the core of the papillae. Okay, because of the papillae, sometimes there will be no blood supply to the fronts, and that shows degeneration and calcification, and they form Samoma bodies. So people papillary carcinoma and Samoma bodies, you should remember that. Okay, this is papillary carcinoma. Slide will be there for your exam. So what you have to see? Papillary fronts lined by tumor cells. How are the tumor cells? Clear nucleus, also called as orphanania nuclei, intranuclear inclusions, and groove. Okay, these are the common things you should know about papillary carcinoma. Now we will discuss. This is a diagram. You can see the ground glass cells, papillae, fibrovascular stalk, and Samova bodies. Okay, Samova bodies are calcification. That is why it is purple or blue in color. Now you can see this is also papillary carcinoma. So you can see no follicles are visible. You will not able to identify if it is thyroid or not. But the section is taken from the thyroid and you can see papillary fronds. Okay. And for nuclear morphology, you have to see under the cortex.